Hi, in this video I'm going to go over the miking and layouts for the next 2 days of recording. So the things are pretty much not going to change. The only thing that's going to change is how we move these mics up here, which I'll get to in a minute. So first of all, we have the Deca tree, which should be the first 3 channels, or the first 2 channels. You can do one as a stereo pair and then the mid, or the center rather. Then we have what I'm calling the outriggers left and right, which are these 2 414s in Omni. And then the mid left and right, which are also 414s in Omni. And these should basically be halfway in between the Deca tree and the spot mics. They're meant to be mid mics. So the important thing is that they're all on the same line going this way, and then vertically that they all match the same height, and that these 2 414s are as wide as possible. Next we have our spots. They're called something different here. I think we could just call it N122 left, R122, N2022 right, instead of calling them after the names of the instruments, because it's going to get messy that way. And so the idea is that we'll use these 3 mics pretty much for all of the sections. And for the soloist, we won't even move them for the soloist. We'll just move the soloist in front of the mic that we like the most. I'll get into placements in a second. And then lastly, we have our mid-side section. I think the order of these can change, but that's not really that important. The mid-side array is going to be the M149, which will be the sides, and in the figure of 8 pattern, of course, and then the U67 in cardioid mode pointing forward. So this is kind of like a step back from the spots. It should still be pretty close because we really want it to capture the balls of the section and to be able to get the width. And this was the way of being able to exploit the power of the tubes without having access to all the tube spots that we'd otherwise want to use for something like that. And then headphones. We'll need 5 pairs of headphones because we'll have up to 5 musicians and 5 chairs, and then we'll have and 5 music stands, of course, and then we'll have 1 pair of headphones for the conductor. And it would be useful if we could also have another pair of headphones, which I don't have written here, with an extension for the camera operator so that I can communicate to them while they are in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 pairs of headphones. Going into the groups, so let's look at what we've got first. The first thing in the mornings are going to be the trumpet ensembles. So in that case, let me bring this up here. We pretty much would be using 1, 2, 3, these chairs here for the trumpets. So that's not a big deal, and we'll just have the mics placed right in front of them. And what I want to do is leave everything center and just move the heights of the microphones as necessary. So I want to take really detailed photos, have the engineers take detailed photos so that we can remember the positionings of things when we come back the next day. The next is going to be the trombone ensemble. So yeah, we have 3 trombones. So for that, we'll use the same positions as the trumpets. We probably just will have to adjust the heights, or maybe we'll have to move the players back away from the mics, but we won't change the order of the mics or anything like that. For the horns, that's a little bit tricky because we have 5 horns. We might want to space things a little bit differently to get the right sound. When I do horns from the front, what I tend to do is, because their bells are facing backwards, to put baffles, which I did not draw here, but baffles in the back to get the reflections so that we can cover them from the front. But the height's definitely going to need to change for the horns versus what we were using for the trombones. And in this case, it's going to be really, really important to take photos so we can remember how we adjusted from the horns, and we can get back to that the next day. Then we have a low brass ensemble of 2 bass trombones and the tuba, and they will be seated kind of like this. So we'll have bass trombone, tuba, and at that point we just adjust the mics so that we have the right heights. It's not a big deal for these, but the R122 is going to have to go pretty high up, so it goes above the bell of the tuba. Then we have the soloists, and for those, we just kind of bring everything to normal height, and we just place the musician appropriately from whatever mic we want to do. So we have basically a choice of 2 mics, the N22 or the R122, and we can just try them out at either place. So pretty straightforward. I wanted to make this as logistically simple as possible, so we keep the 5 chairs there. We have the 5 music stands. We have all the headphones we need, and we don't have to change any of the mid-side array or the room or the or the Decca. We just adjust the heights of these 3 ribbon mics as we need to get the spot coverage. So that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. In terms of the layout of the Pro Tools session, yeah, I mean, just pretty much label it like this. I mean, the only difference is I think we can do, we can call this N22 left, R122, oops, N22 right. That way that we have consistent naming throughout all the Pro Tools sessions, and I'll just know what's what, because obviously we'll have either different sessions or we'll have extensive memory location, so I know what section we're recording at the time. Awesome. Let me know if you have any questions, and talk to you soon.